Today's story, we are witnessing a situation where a lady has a high sex drive, but a male does not. How does he eventually work in a relationship? So the lady is 29 years old, the male is 31 years old. And let's see what he got. So the lady, she's the one that's in this. I have a high sex drive. The boyfriend, let's name him Ken. He does not. This has really messed me up mentally. I find myself questioning why he doesn't want me. I used to be very confident in myself and in our relationship. We have been together for almost 3 years. Our relationship happened rather quickly. We started talking, and within a few weeks, we would stay at each other's place. Within 3 months, we moved in together, and I found out I was pregnant shortly after. First of all, I want to say these are the differences between the modern society, dating in modern society, and dating in the traditional form of dating of in those days, or even marriage generally. Why I think this is one of the reasons why it takes many people spend a lot of time in the dating scene in terms of a boyfriend and a girlfriend. That's just what I'm thinking. I might be wrong. Drop your comments. But listen to me, hear me out. So you find yourself a girlfriend, you find yourself a boyfriend, and traditionally, let's say years back, process would be, oh, you found yourself, you're dating, you just talk a few times, but there's no moving in or staying at the other person's place, because eventually these were things which were kept for a married couple. And then when eventually they get married, you enjoy all of the benefits that come from marriage. But today, with the concept of coming together and eventually even living together, moving in together at that dating space, what's the rush in eventually getting towards marriage? What's the rush in marrying this person? Because now you have the opportunity to live with the person before eventually even wifing the person and enjoy all of the benefits that come from having a wife, or enjoy all of the benefits that come from having a husband at home while still in the boyfriend and the girlfriend stage. And at the end of the day, you hear stories like, we've been dating for 10 years, and 10 years after there is no ring. You hear stories that we've been dating for 5 years, and sometimes these years keep getting longer and longer. But why? Because I think there might be no rush towards getting there, towards getting to eventually the altar. Why? I'm getting everything I need already at the boyfriend and girlfriend stage. So yeah, that's just my opinion though. Like always, it's just an opinion. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. We have been together for almost 3 years. Our relationship happened rather quickly. So we already passed that phase where we moved in together and she got pregnant a little bit after. We now have an almost 2-year-old, and Ken is an amazing father, but he lacks in our relationship. I am very vocal about my needs and wants in our relationship. And the main need or want is intimacy. Big ups, first of all, in that. I think that's something which many people don't do. In relationships, we find many people who are strained and are probably psychologically distressed just based on the fact that they are not able to verbally sometimes have good conversations. Like, we should not undermine the value of proper communication, being able to communicate to your partner about your desires, about your wants, about the kind of things which probably are working or are not working, about all of those kind of things, being able to think and reach the level where there is fluency in terms of mind and speech between you and your partner. You can think about it and you can have a proper logical conversation with your partner, not very emotional and get weirded out and go and get emotional and bag on about maybe something which does not work well with you or something which has offended you. But the ability to be able to tell your partner about your needs, tell your partner about your worries is something which is very, very essential in maintaining a good, wonderful relationship. I think so. What do you guys think? So, if it were up to me, we'd be intimate at least twice a week. So basically, this 29-year-old and this 31-year-old, according to the story so far, one can assume and say, oh, if what she wants is a minimum of twice a week, it means they might not even be getting that minimum. Then no, if that's the case, then I think that we actually have a problem here. Especially for someone who has a high libido, then no, then we have a problem here. At times, we go months without intimacy. I have expressed to him the lack of intimacy and the way it makes me feel. He apologized and assured me that it has nothing to do with me, but I can't seem to think otherwise. To put it in perspective, I am 4'11" and super slim. I've been told in the past that I have a body of a 10-year-old, but even being told that, I've always felt beautiful. Big ups. Nothing can put you down. You will remain high in the sky, soaring in the sky. Now, my self-esteem is yes. Now I've become in a way toxic. I can't help but think that if he's not being intimate with me, he's being intimate with someone else. Hell yeah. I think that's one thing that happens when eventually a lady finds themselves in this kind of position. Like, if we're not being intimate, then who are you being intimate with? Because I'm very sure you're being intimate. Ben told me that he took steroids a few years ago and it has affected his hormones. So he has low testosterone and low libido. I've heard about this. I've heard about this as a side effect of steroids. Hmm. I hope we are learning. I understand that and I want to believe he's telling me the truth. But I'm struggling to. Now, here's where my toxicity comes in. Ken falls asleep pretty early, or at least before I do. I have checked his phone very thoroughly, but I've found no evidence of cheating. I've brought up some conversations he has had with his friends or colleagues, and he was upset I went through his phone, since he has nothing to hide. Ken expressed to me that he wishes I would initiate intimacy. I am no longer confident to do that. My brother, at the end of the day, especially with this aspect of initiating intimacy, it's a two-way game. I think it's it's much more romantic when it's a two-way thing. Like sometimes, like she just highlighted, she probably has been doing it in the past and she's no longer confident enough to do it because probably when she does it, clamped down. So eventually take on the shoes, man. Switch the roles. Eventually, at least initiate it as well. This will be a two-way thing. I think it's much more romantic when it's a two-way thing. Because if it's just left on one person to always initiate it, it becomes like the other person is not that much interested in it only until you stimulate it. So it should be a two-way thing, I think. There were times when I tried to initiate exactly. I start by giving him a BJ for a few minutes to start things out, but he wouldn't even attempt to satisfy me or to move things to the next level. Exactly. Those are confident feelings. He crushed, man. After feeling rejected so many times, I stopped. Exactly. At this point, I'm not sure what to do. I can't say I have never had an orgasm with him, but I love being intimate with him because I love him. And just his satisfaction satisfies me. But the lack of intimacy has really put a strain on how I feel about our relationship. It feels like we are more of roommates than an actual couple. That's sad. I can't help but think about our future together and automatically envision myself being miserable. If the intimacy is this bad now, what does the future hold? Am I wrong for basing our relationship on intimacy or lack of? Number one, I don't think you are. Why don't I think you are? Because it is one of the major things which has held relationships together for years. And the lack of eventually has also broken a lot of relationships. And it keeps breaking them right up to today. But let's hear what you guys have to say. SKG says you two need to go to couples therapy and he should go to a doctor to confirm if it is a low testosterone and get him on TRT. At the end of the day, many times we undermine how powerful medical help and also therapy, which I hear is very expensive too. We there are different ways of getting therapy. Literally, you could also get therapy before watching some certain kind of videos or having proper conversations. That's why I think, like, as much as possible, from a personal level and a collective level, one of the best skills you could develop for yourself is the ability to communicate effectively, active listening, active participation in communications, and the ability to be able to take a person's feedback, think about it. If it makes sense, then implement it. I think that's very, very important. Flinty says seek medical help and counseling. If it's a hormone thing, there's therapy for him that would help. Counseling will help with your mental health and facilitate communication between you and your boyfriend. Exactly. But intimacy is part of your relationship. And if it's important to you, then it matters. Good luck. All right. That's all we have for today for this particular story. Give me your opinions down below. What do you guys think? Until next time, big ups.